Hey everybody, welcome back to A Matter of Life and Maiden, the podcast of the Beast. I am Joe Labriola, and today on episode 44 of the podcast, we are wishing Mr. Michael Henry Nicko McBrain a very happy birthday. This is Nicko's 73rd birthday. He was born June 5th, 1952. Happy birthday, Nick. We miss you. We love you. And we hope you're doing very, very well. We're looking forward to see what's coming down the pipeline with the stuff you're doing with Maiden. We have an itching feeling that there's going to be a new album and you're going to be on it. So we're very stoked to see that and hear that when that's available. Probably late 2026, early 2027, hopefully. But that's what we're thinking. Nicko, we miss you. We love you. If you guys haven't already checked it out, go back and watch my episode. The episode I called We Love You, Nicko. I recorded that as soon as I found out on the day that Nicko announced his retirement from live touring with Iron Maiden, December 7th of last year, 2024. And it talks about my love for Nicko. So if you haven't watched that, please check it out. Now that the Run for Your Lives tour is kicked off and Simon's behind the kit, it is very different. It's not Nicko. It's not Nicko. So I still get chills thinking about it. It's hard to believe that he's not playing with the guys anymore. And like I said before, when I recorded that episode and when I talked about that, I've been a Maiden fan for 20 years, and not seeing Nicko in the live show anymore, yeah, it's different. Especially when I just saw them last year, and I thought, man, I could see these guys forever. Nicko's going to be around. But like I said, you got to take into consideration his health and the fact that he had a stroke, and he recovered pretty quickly in a couple months. Went out there and played a hell of a show on the Future Past tour. And for me, it's come full circle since the first time I saw the guys on the Somewhere Back in Time tour to the Future Past tour, and it just, he went out with a bang. Last song being Wasted Years, playing in Brazil to all those fans, and it was just really beautiful. It was very sad initially when I heard it, but looking back on it now, a couple months removed from it, very beautiful legacy with the band, and he's still with the band. He's not gone, so it's absolutely phenomenal. But with that aside, Nicko, I just want to say happy birthday. We miss you. We love you. We hope you're doing well, and it looks like you are. He's doing well with Titanium Tart, Rock and Roll Ribs. Lives in Florida, Boca Raton. Huge Jaguar car enthusiast, so he's probably out there driving his Jags around, having a really good time. Still playing his drum kits. He switched over the years from Sonor to Premier to British Drum Company, Remo heads to Code heads, Signature Vic Firth drumsticks. He's just an all around awesome dude, and he's very active. A lot of different things. His own restaurant, his own businesses, custom cars, custom drum kits, signature sticks, signature heads, all this really cool stuff. Miss seeing the Sooty Puppet on stage. Talked about that, and miss the hell out of you. But we hope you're doing well. Anyway, went off on a little tangent there, but I just wanted to talk about Nick and wish him well on his birthday here. 73 years old. Happy birthday again, Mr. McBrain. But we want to talk about Nicko's legacy here and what he brought to Iron Maiden and what he's still bringing to Iron Maiden. He's still bringing a lot, but in the past that we know of and the things that we've seen, just, man, initially trying to do this and talk about some of his highlights over the years, it's very hard because on the one hand, I feel like Nicko has contributed so much to every single album. Like there's stuff that, Adrian has said this, Bruce has said this, Steve has said this about Nick. When he joined the band, they could just write more technical stuff. They could play more technical stuff. It's very similar to like when Adrian joined and then Bruce joined with his voice. Like lyrically, they could write better. Musically, when Adrian joined and musically when Nick joined, like they could write better. And Nick in particular, just like the drumming patterns, because that's a foundational piece of any song with the bass, the rhythm. Him and Steve were just so tight and just so... And Nick has said this in interviews before, like, Steve would just come up and play a line and I could just figure out what he was doing. I could be like a different world away. It was almost like they had telepathic abilities with one another. They were so synced up. It was like it was otherworldly synchronization between the two of those guys because they knew how each other played so well. And highlights, really, let's just start. When he joined the band after Clive left, and whether Clive got kicked out or he got ousted from the band or whatever because of him clashing with Steve, or if it was for other reasons or whatever. I think the guys knew when they saw Nick play, because Nick used to play in a French band called Trust, and they toured with Maiden in the '80s. And when they saw him, they were like, "Man, this guy's amazing." And the interesting fact, when Clive left Maiden, he actually played with Trust. Like, it's almost like Nicko and Clive switched places. So Clive played with Trust for a little bit. But when Nick joined, I mean, let's just go from the get go. Everybody said, his jazz style, his technique. He has that really. He uses the back end of his stick to play snare sometimes, and to do some things to get that really loud, like those really loud hits and those power hits with his snare and some of the fills that he does, which is very interesting. His barefoot playing technique in the later years, when he got a different kind of pedal. The fact that he doesn't really prefer double bass, he doesn't think it's like what a drummer should use. I mean, he did it one time on the Face in the Sand song. Other than that, he's playing barefoot, single bass drum pedal, and it sounds absolutely disgusting. It sounds like he's playing double bass. The guy is a freak of nature. He's been described by a ton of people who have watched him as an octopus behind the kit, and his style with his fills and his technical drumming, and the way he has his kit set up, it's like he's not even watching it. And if you watch some of the concerts, he's not even looking. I mean, he's just like making faces and looking at the camera, and he knows where everything is. It's perfect. It's perfect. And if you ever saw him go through some of his drum videos when he walks you through, he talks about how, like, I have everything finely tuned on this. It's a finely tuned machine. If anything's off on this by like a centimeter or an inch, it has to be perfect. And he knows where every single cymbal is, every single drum. He knows what sticks to use. He knows what pace to play. He's my favorite drummer of all time. He's at the top of the conversation for me. The greatest of all time. And some of the most complex heavy metal songs ever. And to start, Where Eagles Dare. I mean, when he joined the band and that's the opening track and he's playing that song, the drumming on that alone, I mean, that's one of his most signature drumming moments. Really, Where Eagles Dare, but the entire Peace of Mind record, for me, is a highlight. And that's kind of what I'm going to do, is go through highlights of like his drumming over the years. And then we'll talk about him as a person. But wow, Where Eagles Dare just opening up the Peace of Mind record, absolutely mind-blowing. I mean, it's just unbelievable. And having seen that live now, too, with him playing it on Legacy of the Beast, it was euphoric. A euphoric experience. And one of his strongest songs that he played on that showcases drumming. If they were to say, like, give me a song about Nicko McBrain, you can pick one, I might have to pick Where Eagles Dare, just to showcase him as a drummer. It's so powerful, and really anything for Peace of Mind. Like, I think about The Trooper, and I know that song isn't like epic or anything, but it's a song. I mean, the drumming on it, just his free form, like, just the way it sounds, like, and him just being loose in the background, like, I mean, he just, his technical fills on that are unbelievable. And then the complexity of like a song like To Tame a Land on that record, where there's a lot of really quiet parts, and then the part when Bruce is like, the time will come for him, and Nick's just like just building it up. I mean, and then the explosion with it's unbelievable. Unbelievable, that whole record. I love Flight of Icarus too, just like the straightforward drumming of it. Some of his fills, like Touch the Sun, yeah, it's like just how he puts the fills in. Beautiful rhythm section, beautiful fills, beautiful lead parts on it. That record is immense. It's a very strong record for Nick to showcase who he is as a drummer. And absolutely, I mean, that whole record, again, I'll say it a million times, is a highlight for Nicko McBrain. really the entire 80s catalog that Nick's on is unbelievable. I mean, moving on to Power Slave, again, you're up and up with Aces High. The drumming on that is absolutely amazing. 2 Minutes to Midnight, the drumming on that. Power Slave, the song. Lost for Words, Big Or, the instrumental with him playing the drums is unbelievable with everything. Flash of the Blade, the Duelist, and then obviously, like the cream of the crop on that, Rhyme the Ancient Mariner. Some of the most atmospheric drumming probably he's done with the quiet parts, where he's just doing real light cymbal hits and flourishes. Um, just on the hi hat and on the brass and everything. It's very very cool, very very cool. One of his most technical songs, and watching him gearing up for the Run for Your Lives tour here, I've been like watching some of the old stuff. I watched like the Live After Death version of Rhyme with him, and I watched the Flight 66 one, and it's like effortless for him. And I love like at the end when he finishes off the part before it goes into the quiet part, and he like reaches back and hits the gong. It's like, and it echoes and it goes into the quieter part. I mean, he was a theatrical master. I mean, just perfect fitting for the band, where Bruce is like this front man with all this gusto and energy, and he's an entertainer like Nicko is too, but behind the drum kit. That's why everybody in this band is so awesome. And like Nicko, watching him play that, like he's just so free and so loose and just so like he's amazing. It's almost, like I said, effortless for him, but he's doing like 1,000 different things. Like his drumming patterns and technique, it's almost like he is like in sync and in tune, like he's connected to his instrument 100%. Like it's like an extension of him as a person. It's unbelievable when you sit and watch that. So that record. And then, moving on to Somewhere in Time, like the same thing. I just saw the Future Past tour last year, and seeing him play the stuff live, like in front of me, was unbelievable. And watching him play like Alexander the Great, for instance, another highlight. Like that song has some pretty crafty time changes in it and transitions and drumming patterns, and he just destroys it. The title track, Caught Somewhere in Time, like some of the drumming on that is unbelievable. Like the breakdown part, and then it goes into the solos, and then back in the, and he's playing drums like, he's just, I mean, unbelievable, unbelievable. Stranger in a Strange Land, just a pretty awesome, straightforward drumming with that, and then into some very technical, spacey kind of like ambient drumming, and then a big payoff in the chorus. Just this, he has this just amazing drive to chug along, and then he just throws in these amazing flourishes and fills that take the songs to another level. Those songs in particular I mentioned, Wasted Years, his drumming on that was unbelievable. That entire record is amazing. Sea of Madness, I want to see that song live so much. But again, he's not playing live, so it's like, well, it'd be cool to see it, but man, to see that live with Nick behind the kit would have been absolutely phenomenal. The album version is astounding. Loneliness of the Long Distance Runner. And his pacing. I mean, just, and how that changes up in the variations in that are beautiful. Going to Seven Son, the title track, another just absolutely phenomenal drum performance by Nicko McBrain, a technical performance, a lot of time changes and a lot of different variations and up-tempo and quiet parts and then more technical parts, and then a huge build-up and slower, more ambient parts and atmospheric sections. He slays that. Infinite Dreams is one of my favorites. Moonchild, his drumming on that is astounding. The Evil That Men Do, more straightforward, but just very clean and very like on point and very driving and just chugging along again. Can I Play With Madness is a fun one. No, I wouldn't say it was like his strongest performance on that record, aside from a lot of the other stuff I mentioned from Seven Son, but everything he does is amazing. Like I can't say enough about it. Like I said, to sum it up short would be like, yeah, every single song, which is true. But I'm just trying to throw highlights out here. The Clairvoyant has some really nice drumming on it. Uh, Even Only the Good Die Young is really good. The Prophecy is really neat, like at the beginning. Now, just very storytelling kind of feel, drumming, accenting Bruce's vocals, accenting the guitars in parts, accenting Steve's bass in parts, then doing stuff by himself. He's just an all around amazing drummer. He can play anything. He can play absolutely anything, any kind of music. Unbelievable. Unbelievable, like jazz influences. Like he's so technical, super technical. Um, so yeah, the Seventh Son record. I mean, I echo pretty much everything. Getting to the '90s, I don't want to spend too much time on it because the '90s for me weren't really a big period for Maiden. But again, his drumming is absolutely amazing. Fear of the Dark, that song, unbelievable with some of the changes in the signatures. Afraid to Shoot Strangers, incredible. Be Quick or Be Dead at the beginning. I mean, how he plays that. I like Childhood's End too. His drumming on that, like it's really interesting with the music and how he plays with it. Childhood's End is an underrated gem in Nick's drumming. Listen to that song if you haven't listened to it in a while because his drumming is really really great on that. That would be a song from Fear of the Dark I'd love to see live. I'd love to see that song live. And it would have been cool to see again Nick play that. The drumming on that is very interesting, almost like echoey, and I love it. I love it. It sounds really really good. I kind of glossed over No Prayer for the Dying. I love sitting here thinking about it. Run Silent, Run Deep on that. Uh, Holy Smoke's good. Some of the other songs on there, Bring Your Daughter to the Slaughter's pretty good. Other than that, I'm not a big fan of No Prayer for the Dying. But again, I can't discount Nicko's drumming on it. He does what he can with the material. I think Fear the Dark and the songs I just mentioned right before I said anything about No Prayer, even though I kind of reversed the records and the albums. No Prayer obviously comes first and then Fear, but yeah, he's amazing throughout. He's amazing throughout. And then moving on after Fear of the Dark, and you're going into and to touch on it, even Wasting Love, like a slower song for him. I don't think it's very technical, but going back to the fact that I said he can play anything, Wasting Love is almost like a ballady song in a way, and he nails that too. He can do anything. Obviously, I love him at his apex when he's playing super technical stuff, and he's using every piece of his drum kit, with the more complex songs like Rhyme I talked about, Seventh Son, Alexander the Great, To Tame a Land, things like that. Absolutely amazing. Fear of the Dark, Afraid to Shoot Strangers, Seventh Son of a Seventh Son, songs like that. And then moving on from those two records in the '90s, the first two, and we're going to the X Factor, Sign of the Cross. Like, you want to hear some amazing drumming, listen to that song too. Just another highlight. Uh, just a driving force, kind of like a dark force. He really conveys the darkness of that record and kind of like the ambience and the mood of it, just how he plays, and I think all the guys do. But Nick creates the foundation, like the driving force behind everything, the foundational piece that holds that all together, the glue really that holds it all together, and it's unbelievable. Sign of the Cross, Lord of the Flies, another amazing song. Like the fast drumming, I don't care for this world anymore. I just want to live my own fantasy. Going to that part, Man on the Edge is a really interesting, kind of like faster song. Blood on the World's Hands, really cool drumming on that. Some of the offbeat drumming on the X Factor album with some of the songs, like Fortunes of War. Really interesting. And then Nicko has these really cool, like kind of like offbeat accentuating drums that are kind of almost like diminished sounding drums. Like I said, it sets like the somber tone of the record. Phenomenal. Moving on from that to Virtual 11, Klansman, another amazing just transitional song with Nick. He has some really cool like free just like roller coastery drum parts on that where he's going up and down with a lot of the cool stuff. Like freedom, freedom, just very very cool. Future Real was really neat, super fast for him, like his playing gig. Really, really neat. A lot of hi-hat technique on that. A lot of like really just, clicky hi-hat and then all these different really cool sweet fills in it. I like the Educated Fool too. I think it's a really neat song. And really his drumming on that is fantastic. It's Educated Fool was kind of like a song that's grown on me over the years too, and I kind of know I'm talking about Virtual Eleven here, but it's almost like the wasted years of that record, Educated Fool, I think. And some of the chorus parts, like or the pre-chorus, and Nicko like with the toms and the hi hats, and then the chorus part like time will flow, and Nick playing that part like, and he's just this beautiful open, just like bombast that hits that really nice, and it's just a really nice flourish with his signature hits on that. Just another amazing performance by him. Like he's amazing, and then the '90s are probably the lowest point of his entire career in the band, but he still sounds absolutely phenomenal. It's the other stuff that's not up to par. Really, it's the lyrics, it's some of the songwriting, like on No Prayer in particular, like lack of guitar parts, that kind of bring those records down. But his drumming is like the saving grace, really, that keeps him afloat. So he's all around awesome, regardless. And then the reunion, when Bruce came back and Adrian came back and the band became a 6-piece. I mean, wow, like man, it's another resurgence for Iron Maiden. It's like they're back to being as good as they were in the '80s. Like, and I mean that. I used to sit there and say, well, the golden age of Iron Maiden's the '80s with Bruce, '82 through '88 and those records, and then the silver age is the reunion. But that's not how I see it anymore. It's a resurgence. I mean, it's just a different time. It's before the reunion and the reunion to the present. That's what it is. And both eras of the band and the lineup are phenomenal. I personally think the 6-piece band is amazing. I never got a chance to know the 5-piece band. I never saw them play live. I heard their material, after I became a fan in like late 2004. Really dived into them like early 2005. So like, the 6-piece band will always be my lineup, and Nick on that. Like, holy shit! Again, much like I said with Peace of Mind, Brave New World is a fucking amazing album, especially for drumming. Like the Wicker man, his drumming on that is so just aggressive and just he's so locked in on that album. Like I'm sitting here thinking about the Wicker Man, like the and him just destroying. Dream of Mirrors is another highlight on that record for me. Like, have you ever felt? And another one of those songs that goes through multiple transitions where there's quiet and softer parts, a lot of different things that, build, and, Nick does all these really soft hits, and he does a lot of hard stuff, a lot of amazing technical fills. In that song, Blood Brothers is another one that's just super technical and super beautiful, ambient parts, heavy parts. Brave New World, the song, that transition too is absolutely amazing. Like the heaviness where he starts off really light and then the drums come in, like in a brave new world, and like the beginning part, like dying swarms, and he's just doing like little flourishes and accents. Amazing. Ghost of the Navigator, another just driving song, like with the riff, like and then it's like, I mean, he's playing along with the guitars and everything, the fills, the beauty. It's insanity. Like how great he is. Just fits him and Steve just locking in together perfectly. And Brave New World's an example of like that, the mastery of that, along with most of these other records. But him and Steve have been locked in since day one, since he joined the band, since Nick joined the band. The entire Brave New World record, I could list every song here. Nomad has amazing locked in parts. Out of the Silent Planet has some amazing, heavy, crushing drums on it. The thin line between love and hate is a nice, like, nice structural driving kind of like. Um, it's a very uplifting, just upbeat song. The way Nick plays the drums on it, just very like so technical and concise and evolutionary. I mean, he's such a dynamic player. Like the way he plays drums is so dynamic and so versatile. Like he never does the same thing twice. And like on the song, it's like you can just hear. It's like his when he plays drums, it's evolutionary. It's almost like he's just evolving. Like every time I hear him play, like the chorus is different. He'll add these little fills and these flourishes, these little tidbits in that just change it ever so slightly. Like every little verse, every little chorus isn't exactly the same, and he has like all these little bells and whistles on his kit that do these different things and add these different synchronicities. If he's playing like a crash or a ride, or he's if he's using the heavy end of his stick to hit certain things, has a different sound and tonality, and he's using the brushes and the stuff for the real light things when he's hitting the cymbals or tapping like the crash ride like on Rhyme and some of the other songs I mentioned. I mean, it's unbelievable, unbelievable. And he's using like the really soft mallets, on it. I just he's incredible. And the reunion, Brave New World. I mean, I can sit here and talk about Dance of Death, A Matter of Life and Death, and those two records in particular. Just echo the same thing about them that I did with Brave New World, and the rest of the reunion too. When we get to Final Frontier, Book of Souls, and then Senjutsu, like it's just highlights on some of those records. I want to echo everything I said about Brave New World. His drumming is just absolutely phenomenal. Dance of Death, Passchendaele is unbelievable. Face in the Sand, where he actually uses a double bass, it sounds kick ass. It's so good. It's so freaking good. Dance of Death, the song, the quiet parts, and then his drumming coming in. Wildest Dreams is amazing. No More Lies, I love that song. That song has grown on me over the years exponentially. I mean, it's phenomenal. It's phenomenal. It's one of my favorite. Like, they're all sitting at my table, and Nick's on the drums, like, just coming in, like, just driving the song, just accenting Bruce's emphasis where he gets a little harsher, gets a little lighter, accenting. The thing about Nick is he accents in the exact right places when it needs to happen. If there's a part where Bruce's vocal needs to be accented, he'll accent it. If Steve's bass line or note needs to be accented, he'll accent it. If there's a guitar part or something coming in, he accents it. It's just absolutely perfect. And some of those songs I mentioned are amazing examples. Again, with like his cymbal play and the lightness, like the beginning of Passchendaele, like I love that. It's so good, and it goes on Adrian's, dude, like the little riff. Man, just even little things like that just make it so perfect. Make it so perfect. Journeyman too. Just that's a very beautiful song and very loose and free, but his drumming on that too, like I know what I want and I say what I don't like that part. When he's really hitting it home with the accents on that. I know what I want, and I mean, it's just perfect. A Matter of Life and Death. Wow, just amazing drumming. Lord of Light. I mean, some of the heaviest shit I think he's ever done. Like Spiral Path leads through the maze. He's on the drum like. Some of the parts on Longest Day are amazing. Like the very beginning, like the way he plays the drums, almost it makes it sounds like you're just crawling through like mud and grime and water and dirt when you're landing on the beaches of Normandy. That part's amazing. That's another song that's grown on me a lot over the years. The Longest Day used to be one of my least favorite songs on the record, but it's become like it's up there for me. It's really really damn good. Especially the verses, they're unbelievable. And then like the part where it's Enter Hell's Gate, and then I mean, just his fills, unbelievable. That entire record, again, Different World at the beginning is amazing. Harry! I mean, just beautiful. These Colors Don't Run, Brighter Than a Thousand Suns, so heavy. Um, and then Nick comes in with the drums. It's amazing. The Pilgrim, the beginning. Just his intros too, the way he introduces a song. That the Pilgrim, like I said, that's another just fine example. Fine example. Everything on A Matter of Life and Death. His drumming really stands out on that record. I think it's one of his most aggressive drumming albums. And then kind of moving on from that, a little bit more, adding some delay and maybe some stuff on his drums, getting a fatter sound on some of his music in the Final Frontier. You're getting like the Final Frontier, like Satellite 15, the Final Frontier is more of a straightforward track. Like I'm not saying it's not challenging, but it's definitely more free form, kind of like a more uplifting song. Um, El Dorado, I don't think that's one of his most complex ones. That's the thing about Final Frontier. I feel like a lot of these songs on this, even for Nick, are a little straightforward, but they are for the rest of the band too. Like there's great stuff on them. I like the Final Frontier a lot. I think it's my least favorite record since the reunion. I'll say that, but I don't think it's just the way the album's constructed. But when you get to the latter half of it, like Isle of Avalon is a beautiful, especially for Nick, like how that song plays out. Um, and the chorus of that, like fertility, mother goddess, and he's just slamming like. I mean, his fills on that are ridiculous, ridiculous. Um, that's amazing. And then Starblind too. Some of the stuff on that, like his variations and movements on that are unreal. The Talisman, another song where it's so technical and it's very awesome. I mean, I do love the Final Frontier. I know I bash it a lot in the podcast, but sitting here thinking about some of the songs on that and how technical they are, it's pretty damn awesome. Like when the Wild Wind Blows and he played that live, some of the parts on that, like the part like where they're getting ready when the wild wind blows, and there's a whole breakdown part. It's like bam, and Nick's just like coming into accent, very Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner-y, like very, very kind of like a nice build up, like a lot of Steve's epics are, and Nick collaborating with that, and making that happen. Um, the Man Who Be King's cool. I don't think it's one of his stronger ones, but on that, like those songs are really cool. The Alchemist has a nice, nice beat to it. Coming Home, again, more straightforward, more straightforward. Um, but astounding regardless. And then we get the Book of Souls, and I think Nick shines on this. The drums on this in particular sound amazing. Like I love the one song that just pops into my head just sitting here thinking about it is When the River Runs Deep. Like how he plays the drums, like now there's nothing to hide, going nowhere. Like that part's like. I mean, just some of the fills in that are astounding. The Red and the Black, phenomenal. Another very dynamic song where he has a lot of different fill types and intros and nice breaks and nice accentuations and astounding. Empire of the Clouds really cool. Like when he's pretty much the storm. He's like the foundation of the storm. Like when the R101's getting ready to crash, and there's that part where they're talking about it's like he does all the like he's emulating like the plane crashing, like the danger of it coming down. Like he's playing super fast. It's very very cool, very very cool. If Eternity Should Fail is awesome. The Great Unknown is another hidden gem from him on there. It's really cool. I beautiful. And then like when Bruce is kind of whispering at the beginning, it's very ambient. And then when he starts picking up, like the drums come in. Book of Souls, the title track. Wow, just the drumming with like the riff, like and then Nick, like when they open up the sacrifices buried with kings, he's just just comes in super heavy. I mean, just it's unbelievable. Again, pretty much every song on that. Death or Glory is really neat. Uh, it's Death or Glory is like a modern day Aces High. I fucking love that song, and I haven't seen that song live. And I say this all the time, and I know we're talking about Nick, but man, it really is. And then moving on from Book of Souls and going to Senjutsu, wow, the title track, like Senjutsu at the beginning, like just how it opens with a girl when he hits the gong, and then they like the just rallying round to the call. And it's funny because in the song it's like they can hear the sound of distant drums, and Nick is like, I mean his drumming on Senjutsu is, in a way, it's kind of, I feel like it's kind of like slowed down a little bit, but it's so concise, and it's a song that it really highlights his playing ability again. I think it's absolutely phenomenal. Stratego is great. Writing on the Wall, beautiful. Lost in a Lost World, amazing drum patterns on that. Days of Future Past is a really cool, like upbeat, kind of like Days of. I mean, really neat. Time Machine, little different. Darkest Hour is really cool. And then some of the highlights, like that I saw live. I mean, Hell on Earth and Death of the Celts are absolutely amazing. The very like storytelling, again, dynamic stuff that you're looking for, and he kills it. He kills it. And my favorite song on Senjutsu, and I think again it's an amazing song for all the musicians in the band. It's a very, very chunky guitar song, one of the coolest guitar songs in Maiden's catalog, where they really showcase the power of the guitar, the power of the bass, and Nicko's drums on the Parchment. I mean, it's like the whole In a Tempest Never Shaken part. That part, that whole like little thing that they do is just so awesome. It's like an anthem. Just, I mean, he just, man, the driving force, the driving force. So, kind of like in a nutshell, I know it feels like I talk forever, but honestly, it's very brief just talking about him. I mean, Nicko and the drumming he's done for the band cannot be understated. He's a genius. He is a drumming genius, and he writes all the drum parts. He writes all the drum parts, and he wrote New Frontier, the only like songwriting credit he has from Dance of Death. It was about basically like his disagreements in like human cloning and things like that, kind of like correlating it to like Frankenstein's monster and stuff. Really cool though. Really cool. They're basically saying, hey, look, if you clone something, it's not going to have a soul. Like it's not really a human. And that's really cool. I mean, I enjoy that. It's interesting. Do I think it's one of the greater songs on Dance of Death? No, but Nicko is never the songwriter. He's a drummer, and like I said, he writes all the drum parts, and he does all those songs I mentioned, and how he plays. I mean, Iron Maiden's sound is because of him. You know, the stuff they did from Peace of Mind forward is in huge part to Nicko McBrain, and just his sheer ability and his technical skill and his improvisational playing and his fills and just his choices and his dynamics, and he's very in tune. He's one of the most in tune drummers I've ever seen, and he never looks like he's struggling. That's another thing I want to say about him. Every time I've ever seen him play, he's always smiling, having a good time, looking at the camera, joking around with Bruce and Davey and other guys in the band, and Steve and Adrian and Yan when they come up to the kit, and like he's smiling. He's always super, super happy and having a great time every time I've ever seen him. And he's just, like I said, he makes it look easy. He makes it look effortless. And to kind of talk about him and his character as a human being, he's always been, ever since I became a fan of Iron Maiden and I watched the Rock in Rio concert behind the scenes. Like the first time I actually saw the band, who they were, hearing them talk, and when they land at the arena in the helicopter and they all get out, and seeing Nick play that show and just him smiling and being weird, and then the behind the scenes where he's out golfing, and him and Yan are kind of like nitpicking each other, and Yan's like, "Look, it's Nicko McBrain." There's like a stuffed lion head in this shop in Rio de Janeiro. I mean, just those little things of them just being goofy with one another. And he's like yelling at the golf ball to get in the hole when he's golfing with Davey. Like, he's a character. He's so funny. He's so funny, and his sense of humor is absolutely infectious and amazing. And I love the guy. I love him, and I miss him so much. But again, like, he has given me so much. He's given me so much over my 20 plus years as a Maiden fan. And I posted something on the Instagram page the other day just about how I was listening to Around the Ancient Mariner. I said earlier in this episode, from Live After Death and Flight 666, and you guys have heard this before, the tape recording video on Flight 666 of Around the Ancient Mariner from Izod Arena in East Rutherford, New Jersey. That was my first Iron Maiden concert. I was there. And I'm going to be able to have that forever. The tape version of it and the video version. Every time I watch it, I'm like, man, I was in that audience. I was in that crowd. It's captured in time forever on a recording, on a live recording of an audio recording and a video recording. And I'm always going to have it. And man, just watching that again and being like, man, how the sheer just he's unbelievable. Just his technical skill is it's undeniable. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. It's given me so much, and the fact that I've been able to see these guys as many times as I have, I miss them so fucking much. I can't understate that. Coming from my first show, and it's funny that like Somewhere in Time and Power Slave are my like favorite two 80s albums from Iron Maiden, because my first show was based on Power Slave I ever saw, and the most recent show I just saw when Nicko retired from live touring, it's based on Somewhere in Time, and it came full circle. It's so surreal. It's so surreal. But he's just a genuine dude. He's just a genuine dude. He cares about his fans. He does so much, and I talked about this on the We Love You Nicko episode. Like, his drum kits over the years that I've seen, some of the stuff that he's done since the reunion, like his decorative drum set. Like, when I first saw him on Somewhere Back in Time with the shells that looked like Egyptian hieroglyphics and Egyptian vases and like Eye of Horuses and like diadems of the Egyptian kingdom all on his shells, and the bass drum cover with the pyramid head, and like I said, the Eye of Horus, the pyramid and the Eye of Horus on it, and the gold hardware. And then Final Frontiers plants look like a bunch of derelict like satellites and planets on his shells, and he had like a black hole drum cover on his bass drum, and the Made in England had the spiritual Eddie head from Seventh Son like in the bass drum cover, and these blue like look like ice covered shells with spiritual kind of versions of Eddie in them. And then he's just cranked it up even more after that. The Book of Souls drum set with all the gold hardware and the Mayan hieroglyphics and the bloody Mayan calendar on them, and the super like goldy, very shiny hardware, and his Legacy of the Beast kit, like the blacked out one with the blacked out cymbals and the stained glass eddies on his drum kit. And then the Legacy of the Beast 2022 set with like all the Senjutsu Eddie. Well, it was Senjutsu Realm, but all the Eddies on his shells were in the Senjutsu Realm, but they were from different versions of it. And then the bass drum cover had like Eddie with the bow and arrow, and then the Future Past tour kit was amazing, like the antiquated hardware and a bunch of Senjutsu Eddies all over it. It was very, very cool, very, very cool. He's unbelievable, and I can't wait to see what's in store. He's done a huge part, and he's the oldest guy in the band. He's 73 years old today. So again, Nicko, thank you so much. Like, you changed my life. The greatest drummer in the world, as far as I'm concerned. You always will be, and I'm going to miss you so much, sir. And I speak for all of us when I say we miss the hell out of you already. Simon's doing really good, seeing some of the stuff that's going on with the Run for Your Lives tour, but he's not you, man. He's not Nicko McBrain, and wow, damn, do we miss you. I'm like getting ready to like shed a tear here just even talking about this, but We love you. Can't wait to see. Can't wait to see what's coming down the pipeline again. What you have in store with Iron Maiden. So everybody out there today, go celebrate Nicko. It's his birthday. Happy 73, Nick. We love you. We miss you. Remember, Maiden is life. The rest is history. Long live Eddie and the boys. Up the irons. Everybody, thanks for listening to A Matter of Life and Maiden, the podcast of the Beast. I'm Joe Labriola. Go out there if you can and get your Run for Your Lives tour tickets. I'll see you guys next time.